now. Yes, ma'am.
Was it hard on you?
Well, I didn't go over to Korea. I was one of the lucky ones, my outfit. I was I was drafted into the Army. I had no choice. And they put me in the Army Engineers. And my job was to do mines and demolitions, that's what I did. And my outfit went over, but my wife was pregnant, so I didn't go overseas, me and 40 other guys out of 800. So we stayed in the States and trained the rest of the troops. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have training before you went to the war?
Did I have what?
Training.
Training? Yes, 16 weeks. 8 weeks infantry and 8 weeks engineers. Yes, sir.
What gear did you wear?
What was that?
What gear did you wear?
What gear did I wear? Well, this is my Legion uniform that we wear now. I used the old olive drab, the old style Army stuff. Nobody sees it anymore. The only thing I have left of my uniform is a fatigue jacket. Nothing else fits me, so I don't wear it. Yes?
What did you serve in?
What's that?
What did you serve in?
What did I serve in? The Korean War, 1952.
Okay.
Yes?
Oh, did you carry the flag?
The flag?
Uh-huh.
Which flag?
The American flag.
Okay. The American flag, to me, it's special. I can remember when I was in Philadelphia. I used to live near Philadelphia. I was born in Pennsylvania. And I saw Betsy Ross's house where the first flag was made, and the Liberty Bell and everything in their area. Does anybody know how many stars were in the first flag that was made?
15. 5.
Nope.
10.
Nope.
1.
Nope.
50.
13.
That's what
Do you know how many stars are in a flag today?
50.
Okay. Does anybody know what the colors of the flag stand for?
No. Oh.
What colors are in the flag?
Red, white, and blue.
Very good. Does anybody know what they stand for?
Red stands for the blood,
Yes.
and I don't know the rest.
White's for purity. And blue? Does anybody know what the blue stands for?
Motion.
No. Blue skies. Does anybody know what the national anthem, do you ever sing that once in a while? Do you know who wrote that? It was a poem. It was not a song. It was originally a poem. Does anybody know who wrote the poem?
I forgot. We were singing in music. The rhythm.
During the battle that it was written, Francis Scott Key. Probably you guys didn't know that. And then they put words to it and music to it. Yes.
Did you have any family in the war?
No. But in the Second World War, I had 2 brothers, 2 uncles, and a couple cousins were in the Second World War. My father was in the First World War. Yes. All right.
Did you get any awards?
Good behavior, that's all I got. And that's hard to do in the service. Yes, sir.
Like any badges? How did you stay in touch with your family?
pretty hard when you're in the service. All you can do is write letters, and that's not all you can do. So for 2 years, I didn't see my wife at all. And then when I got discharged in 1954, I had 2 years, and then I was still in service for 6 more years in reserve. So they could call me up at any time. And I just missed going to Vietnam. In 1960, when I got my final papers, and I breathed a sigh of relief. Yes, sir. All right. In the service, anybody that goes on the front lines to fight, there's one person. But behind the lines, it takes 7 men to take care of supplying that man with food, clothing, paperwork, typists, medical, everything. So it takes everyone that goes on the front lines. There's 7 guys behind the lines working to keep him on the front lines. Yes?
How young were you when you started?
What was that, hon?
How young were you when you started?
I had just turned 21. I just got married and turned 21. I was drafted. Yes, sir.
How did you stay in touch?
Say that again.
How did you stay in touch?
Speak a little louder.
How did you stay in touch?
By mail.
What kind of food did you eat?
Well, I can't tell you some of the stuff we ate, but one thing that we had was called SOS, and I won't tell you what, well, it was shiced on a shingle. That's what we called it. It was ground meat with white gravy on it, on a piece of toast, and it was horrible. And we had green eggs. Nobody had regular eggs. It was powdered eggs is what you had, and when they hit the aluminum frying pans and the pans that they were cooking in, they turned green. And the first time I saw them, I'm sorry, I couldn't eat them. It was awful. Yes?
Did you have lunch when you were
Did I do what, huh?
on lunch?
No. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any friends that were veterans? Or did you have, did you have any friends that were veterans?
Just my family, and I had a lot of friends that were in with me. Yes, sir.
What war did you fight in?
I was in during the Korean War. I didn't fight in the war. I was training troops. Yes, sir.
Do you know the Star Spangled Banner song?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Okay. When you guys see an American flag, the only time you'll probably ever see me is on a parade. And the veterans usually lead any of the parades in town. And when the flag's on the float and it goes by, stand and put your hand over your heart when it goes by. Now, if a veteran's on the ground and sees go by, he salutes. The uniform that I'm wearing, maybe I can answer some questions too, this is the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars basically have the same uniforms, except on the hat it tells you, and on the sleeve, what you're in. Mine is the American Legion, and our colors are blue and yellow. So our pants are blue. The Veterans of Foreign Wars wear black pants, and everything else black. We have, basically all we do now is go to cemeteries or funeral homes for a dead veteran, and we pay respect to them, we honor them with the 21-gun salute. And if sometimes at the funeral home, we do everything at the funeral home instead of the cemetery. And we all line up and we walk in and we there's 2 ways to salute. Like this, and then we pay respect to the dead. You do it like that. And basically that's all we do anymore. And except with the Legion now, we do help. We sponsor Boy Scout troops. We have different people that we sponsor and help the veterans and their families here in Craig. Yes.
Do you have any photos?
No. You'll see my uniform, I have a gold braid on. This is the one we wear for happy times, basically. If we go to a funeral, I have black on. Yes? Okay, you want to talk? Come in here.
Me?
Yes.
What was it like?
What was it like? I was scared, I can tell you that. Yes.
I have more to my thing. I have a family member in the war.
You do? What branch of the service is he in? You know?
Military.
Okay, just military, all right. Yes, ma'am.
My dad was a fixer. The fixer something with the sir that fixed stuff.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what person is lost in the
No, you know, when you go into service, I went in with a lot of my friends that I went to school with in the neighboring towns. I played sports against them. And all but one of them never made it back to the States again. They all got killed. Well, our main job in the engineers is before anybody can walk out in a field, the enemy plants mines in the field. You can't see them. So what we do is we get down on the hands and knees with a bandit and we probe in the dirt. The special way we do it. 9 times 9 and 9. And you cover an area about that big, maybe 3 by 3. And then when that's clear, then you move up and you do it again. And most of the friends in my outfit, they were all killed in the minefields. They got shot by the enemy because they couldn't have their rifle on them. Because if they leaned over and the rifle touched the ground and hit a mine, they would blow up. So it was not a very good job for anybody. Yes, sir.
Did you break a bone or get injured in the Korea War?
The 2 of my friends that I went to school with made it out without a scratch. I don't know how, and they don't know how either. But most of the veterans that have been in combat will not talk about it. They just won't. I talk about it because I've never been there, so I don't know what's actually be in combat, except for my brothers and my uncles that have told me about World War II. My one uncle was a paratrooper in the 101st Airborne in the Second World War. And he was 18 years old when he had to kill his first man. And he gets sick every time he talks about it. But most of the veterans they don't want to say anything about it. But they should, because that's the only way they're going to get it off their chest and realize that and calm down. Yes, sir.
Did you eat MREs?
What was that?
Did you eat MREs?
Well, no, we had what they called sea rations back then. They come in a can with the sausage patties and grease, spaghetti and meatballs in grease. It's basically what we were eating was World War I stuff that was left over. That's what we were using. And some of the World War II. Then after a while, we got pretty good. We got a number 5 can of food, which was pretty decent. But that other stuff was a small can, little crackers in there, and the can